Today, I want to explain the Mekor Chaim and to learn the Pnei Yeshua that Mekor Chaim brings down. And the Siyat Shmai to explain what is Biyun according to Rashi, according to Tosfot, and according to the Ram. This is really what we want to do today. Eliyahu, did you prepare this? Good. Rashi says in our Gemara. Listen to Siyata Nishma. Rashi says in our Gemara, Dibur HaMatchil Chovat Hadat. He says, by mezuzah, the obligation is on the renter because Meshamartoi, he lives there and it guards him. Ubeisecho nichnas veyoitzu. It's his house, and he comes in and out. Aval ocha, but here, b'dikas chometz mid'Rabbanan. B'dikas chometz is from the Rabbi, because the mishum baligoy balimotze, abebidu ve'al mesogile. What? The masach daite minei, umashvelei ke'afro de'aro, ve'oma kol chamir de'isa be'isa. Rashi says, again, let's go over what Rashi says. It's very important to understand. Everyone has a Mekor Chaim. Do you have a Mekor Chaim? You have? He has a Mekor. You have? Everyone has a Mekor Chaim. Who doesn't have? You don't have? The bell. The song is coming today?
Yes.
Oh, very good. You have? Good. I want to say a lot of big Kedushin today. It's worth it to come here. It's the first day of Shlosh Agbola. 3 days is Shavuos. Okay. So Rashi says, by Chometz, the reason why we have a doubt if the landlord needs to do b'dik and bitul, or the renter, the reason is because here b'dikas Chometz is midrabanon, because baligoy balimotz I don't have him, because bitul can take care of it. By the fact that I remove my mind from the Chometz and I make it earth, I want everyone to come and take the Pnei Yeshua. Do you want to spread it around?
I can't spread it.
Take for yourself. Alter, come here. No, this is something new. I want you to spread it. Take and spread this. The boys there. Here, come. What he has. I gave it out to some boys during the week. Okay. So today, with the help of Hashem, we're going to say a couple of very amazing big Kiddushim. More? More? Okay. יש לך פני יהושע. חלק ליהושע. Good. Let's go. Siyata Nishma. Few chidushim I have a big chidush today. I'm very excited about Mamad Al Sinai. Big understanding of land. This early morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, I saw the Rashi. They opened my eyes. Rashi, all this. They opened my eyes and understanding the story of Mamad Al Sinai. So whether to come here today to hear this position. Okay. So let's go back here to the Eden. Rashi says that the doubt of our Gemara, if I rent a house to someone on the 14th of Nisan, the eve of the holiday Passover, then Erev Pesach Bar Botzer, who is responsible to check the house? Which is the house is a place which is they brought in chametz all year long. I replace it on the landowner because he owns the chametz, or on the renter because he now is in his domain. That's the doubt of the Gemara. And Rashi says, you know what's the doubt? Because here, because chametz is mid'Rabbanan. Because Bali Motze, Bitul takes care of it by removing your mind and making an offer, and you say, Kol Chamira, all chametz that I have will be earth, so I take care of Bali Motze. The only question now I have is rabbinic obligation of Bdika and Biyun. Toirach said, this exertion, who do I replace it on? On the landowner or on the renter? That's Rashi. Comes, what?
That's only if bit will happen. Who knows if bit will happen?
No, Rashi says, our Gemara that has it down, we talk about a case that the renter and the landowner know the facts that it was beetle here. The question is, they're fighting who needs to exert himself to check. So they come to the rabbi, there's who is responsible. Maski or the sukkah. That's what Rashi. Mashma from Rashi, you can infer from Rashi, that if it was known that he didn't do beetle, he didn't do beetle. What do you know? So do now. What's the big deal? It's very easy to do. Means he didn't do. And the time passed by, and it's already the midday of the 14th, Arbaisre Bechatzois, 6th hour, and he cannot do beetle anymore. It's finished. So now the bdika will be midoraisa, is mashma that definitely the renter is responsible to do bdika. That's why, in order for the Gemara to ask two sides, the Gemara had to say there was beetle. But if it wasn't for beetle, definitely the renter needs to do beetle. Maybe the masking. Oh, this is where the Bekochaim comes in with the Pnei Yeshua. And this is our Shiur today.
Rosh says the masking,
right? The Marshal.
Chochmah
Shloimo. Chochmah Shloimo says on the spot, on the Marshal, on the Marshal, he says on the masking. So how does he know where does he know the Soicha? So now he builds on the Pnei Yeshua. This is what I gave on the Pnei Yeshua today. And this is really an opening to understand the Sugia here very well. This is my goal today. To explain the concept of Bitul, how does it work according to Rashi, how does it work according to Tosfot, how does it work according to the Ran, and how does it affect us in Rashi. This is our goal today. So listen carefully. Again, we have here a Rashi. That Rashi says, if it wasn't that Bdika, Rashi claims, that our doubt of our Gemara, if I rent a house on the 14th, who's responsible, the landowner to check or the renter, is only talking about when Bitul was done at that chametz. Cancellation of the heart was done at that chametz. But if it wasn't for Bitul, We don't have a doubt. And definitely the renter is responsible. Why? So the Mekor Chaim says, I'll tell you why. So let's read inside. And he has a problem. Before he gives a solution, and he says, don't learn from mezuzah that the renter is responsible to check. Because mezuzah is a reason, it guards it, he gains from it. But here, why Rashi seems to be saying that if it wasn't for bitul was done on this chometz, definitely the renter is responsible. Why? I cannot learn from mezuzah. Mezuzah, it guards it. Well, how do we know here that it's not the renter? And what does it mean that is in this domain? You acquire the house, rental is not an acquisition in the house. So now he starts venire, the second paragraph in this type of print. Venire. Now it gives a solution. Venire, please let's read with me inside. What? Amina Mekor Chaim, in the second paragraph, the word starts with the word venire, it seems to. You don't have one, so come close. Doesn't mean come close and take and go back. Does it come close? No, I'm joking. Venire. Venire seems to be Bekaronas Rashi, in the intention of Rashi. The Ine Bedavov, here in page 6, Amrin Gabeichem Loibayis. The Gemara says in page 6 that if I designate a house for my friend's chometz, the owner of the chometz is not responsible to get rid of it. Atam, the reason is because it says shall not be found in your house. Venochi, and a goy ki kamay lebeis denafshi kamay. Goy, when he brings chometz to your house, he's bringing his own stuff for himself. Paulie, the Gemara says, "Lemed a goy put chometz in my house." Paulie, lemed with the skills, Kanye, you want to say that rental is an acquisition, that it belongs to the goy? But now we learned, even in places where we said that you rent a house to a goy, the Mishah, but you're not allowed to rent it to an idol worshiper because it's going to bring idol worshiping in your house and you're responsible. We see from this, the Mishah from this proven, that rental is not an acquisition. Again, the Gemara brings a contradiction. In one place it says, if a goy deposit chometz in my house and I designated a place for him, I'm not obligated to burn it because it's the goy's chometz and the place is for him. It's rental to the goys, and not nothing to do with me. The Gemara says no, not because an acquisition, schirus is an acquisition in the house. It's not the goy owns the house now. No, the concept of chometz is something is to be found in your house. So it's not found in your house because it's not your house. It's designated to him. So he controls. I designated an area for him. He has the key for that area, for that room, for that closet. So I'm not in my control. That's the Gemara's reason. The Gemara says, what do you mean? Why is it not in your control? Because the goy acquired the designation area. We learned in the Mishnah in Avodah Zarah that if you're not allowed to rent a house to a goy, you're not worship because you're going to bring the Avodah Zarah. So the Gemara answers no. Shani also difference there. There's a difference between chometz and renting a house to a goy that will bring avodah zarah to the house. Renting a house to a goy, an acquisition, rental is not an acquisition in the house. So when I rent my house as a Jew to a goy and he's an idol worshiper, the rental is not an acquisition in the house. Therefore, he's putting it in my house. I cannot bring it to a goy that will put it in my house avodah zarah. But if I designated my house for a goy's chometz, the reason why I'm exempt, because the concept of the Torah should not find chometz in your house means control. And here the chometz is not in your control because the chometz belongs to a goy, and it's in the goy's control. Although he's in my house, but he has the key for that room, for that closet. So it's not my control. And the Torah says I should not be found chometz in my hands. Means don't have control of chometz in your hands. And here chometz is not yours, there's no control. So therefore, you put it. This is the Gemara. So what do we see from here? Alma. Now 4 lines from the beginning of the second paragraph. Alma. The conclusion of this Gemara we see. The Gabe chometz, reference to chometz, Nikre Bais HaSochel. The rented house is called Bais HaSochel. The house of the renter, Kevon Shemotzu Biyun, seeds is found to his hand. So this is a jump. The Mekor Chaim makes a jump. The Gemara speaks about chometz of a goy that he put in a Jewish house, Jewish home. In the area where he put his chometz, he rented that area. He rented a space from a Jewish home to put his chometz. And the Gemara says that the landlord, which is the Jew, is exempt. He's not obligated to get rid of that chometz when Pesach comes in. Because when the Torah says, Lo yiroy lecha, lo yimotze b'yodcha, should not found chometz in your hands, found means, yimotze means control. And here, you don't own the chometz, you don't control the chometz. So therefore you're exempt. From that, he wants to learn out that when we have an opposite situation, 2 Jews, Jew A and Jew B. Jew A and Jew B. The Jew A is the landowner. The Jew B, he rented the house. Who's responsible to take care of the chometz? We see that the concept of lo yimotze lecha means control. So from here, we learn to the Gemara on page 6 that the meaning and the words of the Torah, you should not have found chometz in your home. Found means control. By a goy, he puts his chometz in my house. In a designated area, I'm exempt from getting rid of that chometz, not because the goy bought by rental as an acquisition in the area where you put the chometz there. It's not that, because the Gemara says that's the reason. So it's in my house, his chometz. The answer is, yes, it's my house and his chometz, but it's my house and his chometz and it's his control. So we see the factors control. So from there he wants to learn that the definition of chometz, of lo yiroy lecha should not be found in si chometz, means in your control.
That's left up.
Okay. What's left up?
Left up because that's, who said you can learn from goy to Jew? That's not the half rock, it's only a possibility.
Right. But how do we define the concept of lo yimotze lecha? That's what we want to know. Since the Gemara defines lo yimotze lecha means you're not found control, so that's a definition of the pasuk. So therefore he makes copy paste. Says that's a definition of lo yimotze lecha. The definition of lo yimotze lecha means should not be controlled in your hands. Motzei b'yodcha.
That's not necessarily true. It's only by a goy in relation to a Jew. It doesn't mean that he learned. That doesn't mean it's true by a Jew. That's not a half rock. True. Yeah. But they're not true. It's only a possibility.
You have to answer Rashi.
No, forget about Rashi. The Rosh says it clearly. I'm just saying. I want to think.
He only says what he says because Pnei Yeshu's kasha is on Rashi.
I know. But the question is in the Mukhar. This is
not Mukrak, but boy, that's not true.
How are you going to say Pshat and lo yimotze? Saying the words Amuchach doesn't mean anything. Just explain me how, with that Muchach, you can say another Pshat and lo yimotze. Talk, that's what I want you to talk. I want you to talk. Give me another way to learn.
Only by a voice related to a Jew.
Forget about only. Only, but how are you going to read lo yimotze? Rabbi Fei should give me another definition of lo yimotze, because not only are the reference to Jew. Yes.
It means total ownership, not control.
No, but by a goy, it says I'm about the Jew is about. But the Gemara says the reason is this is the language of the Gemara. Listen, mishum shenemar lo yimotze b'yodcha. The Gemara says, mi shemotzu b'yodcha. Who that is found controlling your hands. It's the language of the Gemara.
The case of a goy. You can't.
I know, but explain me another. This is the way to define the words.
No, it's a definition of that case. You have another case, a different case.
But how do you define the words?
You can't say
lo yimotze means to not be found, not be controlled.
There's many ways you could say.
Okay, yes, Rabbi Nasha.
He's asking like,
No, so it comes out that the Kochaim is explaining in this Rashi, that's what it comes out.
Yes.
That the Raisa is Chayim.
Correct.
it's
Don't
because
you
it's
have something
Mitsui
with the Raisa?
Correct. Yeah.
That's how you
By the way, it's not only Rashi. He's asking a question, what's the Raya? But the Rosh says clearly. That's the definition of Lo Yimotze Lechon.
By a coin.
No, but it comes
No,
out
no,
like
no,
it.
no.
It comes
Okay,
out.
I want to tell me, stop to say by a goy and not by a Jew. Why should be a difference? That's the meaning of the
Rosh
Botzer.
Yeshiva said that every case is a chiddush b'fnei atzmo.
Nobody argues with that. But if I define the Pasuk, which does talk about a goy, the Pasuk Motzui does talk about a goy, the Pasuk talks about a Jew. So if the reason why I exempt the goy between a Jew and a goy, because I define the Pasuk like this. So explain another way to define it. That's my problem. That's why I don't care chilukim. It's a mikra. You know all that. You know all that. It's not a debate. But he learns. We see the Gemara defines how I read the words. Lo yimotze. Motzui biyotcha.
It only defines that case. It doesn't define all cases. Who says it defines all cases?
The Pasuk is not talking about a goy. The Pasuk is about lo yimotze biyotcha.
No, they applied that.
Doesn't matter, but they apply. They explain the Pasuk and then apply it.
Who says like
The
that?
Gemara explains the Pasuk.
No, they don't need.
What? Yes. Okay, let's continue.
It also has to be yours.
What?
It also has to be yours.
Oh, now I was waiting for somebody to say. Oh, very good. Now it's open. Wait a second. I was waiting for you to say what he said. No, wait, I want to say what Rabbi Bell says. It's very important. Okay, the Gemara defined that the word matsui biyadcha means control. But does it need to be yours? What happened if it's yours and not in control? Is it excluded? Or it's understood that Vadai, if it's yours and your control too, it's Vadai. Nobody argues. Maybe that's a simple word of the Pasuk. That is also Motzui. If it's not mine, that's the case of a goy. But it's not mine, also not my control. But what happens if it's his and it's my control? Can I learn from that it follows the control? That's already a jump. Okay. Good. I wanted to define it. Good, let's continue on. The Ashta Osishai says, now I can explain Rashi very well. Listen carefully, what does he say? This is a very big chiddush of the Mekor Chaim. And my goal today, with the help of Hashem, so I want to explain the way the Mekor Chaim learned Rashi. To add to it, explain it, replay it. There's some problems here that we have to add here. Explain the diet and explain this chiddush. And say the difference between Rashi, Ram, Ramban, etc. He says now we can solve Rashi. I'm reading now the last two lines in the first page. Why Rashi was forced to say that our Sugia, when we have a doubt, who is responsible, the landlord or the renter, to check the chometz? Rashi had to say that we're talking about the dikas chometz and the Rabbanon as bitul was done. The midoraisa, the bitul sagi from the Torah, bitul is enough. Why Rashi had to say that? So now he comes with a spot. Mita, the loinikya sholcho. When you do bitul, it's not yours. כמו שכוסו התז ולוקחים מדורייסה לביטול. The hero ayasogi bebitul be'alma, if it wasn't that bitul was enough, in general, rak only the afilo yo mafkiro, if only you would mafkir it, mikol mokom hoyo chayo levaro, you would obligate to give it. Where Toysus says that? By Toysus arguing on Rashi, he says that. In Rashi. This is what he's trying to say. Probably. I'll explain it when we're going to see the Yeshua inside. The definition I have to say, the Torah was careful. The Torah says, I don't want you to have chometz even of hefker.
Even if it was Nubuta.
כמו שכוס על פני יהושע, ולאכול במעטינם רק של החיים ולא של הפקר. We only memai from the word lechol should not found, you should not have chometz. The The you only comes to exclude others or going, but not hefker.
But how can you bring a riot from Tosfos to Rashi?
Very good. Very good.
That's not behech.
Very good. So we have to see the Pnei Yehoshua inside. Let's see the Pnei Yehoshua. He brings the Pnei Yehoshua. Let's see what he says.
I know.
So let's see. Let's see. I printed the Pnei Yehoshua. Everyone has a Pnei Yehoshua inside. Pnei Yehoshua explains very clearly what's the raya that Rashi holds. That if I have more Pnei Yehoshua, no, it's the last one I have.
Get one.
No, it's not from last week, it's new.
Here. You can have goyish, but not hefker. Not hefker at all.
Yes.
Hefker doesn't belong to anybody.
What does the Pnei Yehoshua say? What's that? Before we're going to see it inside, guys, first one to get to it. Where's our direction? Listen, guys. The Mekor Chaim says, you know why Rashi said that our Gemara B'dikas Chomesh from the rabbis? Because if it wasn't that the owner did bitul, the landlord, most likely gave up hope. He was mafkir. And once Efker was done, definitely the responsibility from the Torah is on the renter. How does he know that? Because Rashi later on, and Daf Daled a little bit, argues on Tosfot, and that's what we will see inside. He argues on Tosfot, and he learns that bitul, cancellation of the chametz in your heart, you fulfill the mitzvah of Dash bitul. And he doesn't say like Tosfot, that bitul means, cancellation of the chametz means hefker. Because Rashi says hefker will not solve the problem. Hefker, a Jew that has chametz of hefker in his house, it's still considered his. You have to, he's in control. He's obligated to get rid of it. That's why Rashi couldn't learn like Tosfot. This is the religion he proves it in a second. We'll see so. It's not because Rashi didn't say like Tosfot. He has a whole proof to it in a second. We'll see. So let's go over what really the Mekor Chaim is saying. Mekor Chaim is saying that Rashi was forced. Rashi, according to his opinion in Amud Bet, that holds that chometz of no one. You know no one's chometz? Hefker. Hefker means no one's chometz. Hefker chometz that you have in your house, you're responsible. If let's say, Eliyahu, if I have chometz in my house, and I call 3 people and say, listen, I'm mafkir. Everyone can have it. And nobody takes it, it stays in my house. Does it help? Now the 6th hour comes, I'm oiver bali motze?
Yes.
So the Pnei Yehoshua learns, and Rashi, we'll see, he proves it. We have to check if his proof is clear. He proves from Rashi later on that you oive.
Because there's an opinion that says someone has to pick it up from him.
Tosfot says that every bitul is hefker. But Rashi says bitul means cancellation in your heart is not hefker. Rather, it's a fulfillment of a mitzvah of tashbitul. And Rashi was forced to say that because if he would say hefker like Tosfot, it wouldn't help. Because if you have in your house somebody else chometz, you oive. So he says that's why Rashi had to say in our Sugia that when I rent a home to somebody, to another Jew on the 14th, the question is where he placed the obligation. On the landowner or on the renter, the case of our Gemara, our doubt, it's only the case where bitul was done. But if bitul was not done, most likely we had here hefker, because the landowner, when he rented the house, he forgot about the chometz. Doesn't think about the chometz. He didn't even take his responsibility. He didn't do bitul on it. Just he went and walked away. So most likely he gave up over the chometz. And giving over the chometz is not his, but the renter is responsible to take care of it, and definitely won't have 2 sides. Definitely the obligations on the renter. Because Rashi holds, chometz avek in your house, you oiver. Now let's see the Pnei Yehoshua. How does he know this in Rashi? Okay? This is what the Mekor Chaim is saying.
Who says it's his house? The renter,
What?
The renter, it becomes the renter's house, or he's only making use of the house? You said if the renter, it's his, you said his
If
house.
the renter has chometz of nobody,
Yeah.
hefker in his house,
In his house? What makes it his house?
no, and house that he controls,
Or how do you know it's control?
okay, this is the connection we brought the way he defines. House that he controls, you'll be oiver. You're right. I can say hefker in the house that I own. What about if I have hefker in the house that I control? So that's why you have to bring the Vov. The Vov, first of all, he established that control is a factor of Beisecho. Matsui biyadcha, common in your hands. So now he said, if it wasn't for the fact that the landlord did bitul in the B'dikas Chometz D'Rabbanon, there was no two sides that say the obligation is on the landlord. Definitely on the renter, because the landlord gave up hope, and the renter controls the no one's comments. Definitely the responsibility be on him.
Why does he?
This is what he's saying, Pshat and Rashi. Okay?
Why does he control it?
What?
Why does he control the hummus? He can control the house, the bed, the sink. Why does he control the hummus?
Because if you rent a house, you control the house.
How do you know that?
How do I know that?
How do you make control certain aspects of it?
How do I know my name is Yitzchak?
Usage. No, usage of it. Usage doesn't make it.
Usage just means control. That's what the
No,
law
it
says.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Not only control means usage. No, the difference between usage and control. Not the same thing.
Are you responsible
It's not the
for
same
it?
thing.
What?
Are you responsible? You have to replace it if somebody comes in one night and starts eating everything. Knocks in the middle of the night and comes eating all the food. You gotta pay for it now?
No. No, because the landlord gave up hope. The question is, are you obligated to get rid of that chometz? So he's saying, since Rashi and Avdal Amud Beis learns, he argues on Tosfot, and he learns, bitul means ashbot balev, and you're fulfilling the mitzvah of tashbitu, and he didn't learn that bitul means hefker. Must be that he learned that hefker wouldn't help. Hefker is still, if you mafki your chometz in your house, it's still in your house, you own the house, you have oiver. Comes that Makohan wants to make a jump, and then when he says, when I have a landlord and a renter, and if the landlord gave up hope, most likely, definitely the responsibility will be on the renter because he controls, because the definition of a house in chometz is control. So therefore it will be on him.
But you can only control things that you rented it for. You didn't rent it for hummus. You rented it for to use the bed and the sink.
True.
You rented hummus.
True.
So it's not the same thing.
So you're right. You're right. It's not the same. It's not the same. But when I rent a house that they use chometz there, and there's unknown chometz, what do you think? That the chometz that is in the house, I control, I don't control. The landlord gave up hope.
Control it.
The landlord gave up on it, right? He gave up hope on it. Now you have chometz that they brought in all year long to the house. The landlord gave up hope on it, he just went away. So you don't control the chometz that's there.
No.
It's a fact.
Only
It's a reality.
Only a mailer. It's not in control. Only a mailer. That's it. You don't rent the house.
I don't see it. Yes. What? That's a question of David. Yes. If the landlord gave up hope on it, I'm allowed to eat it.
So what's it going to say? The chometz David.
That's the next.
No, because our Gemara is talking about that the owner gave up hope. He did bitul. That's what I'm going to explain today. This is the second chometz. Why is chometz in there? So I'm right. So I'm learning it. Pshat is because he did bitul, his mind is on it to get rid of it a second before the 6th hour. That's his day.
Who, the Seif or the Maskir?
The maskir.
The Maskir, he said.
If it wasn't that it was bitul, was hefker. The fact that he bitul on it, his mind is on it. And this I want to explain today, and the Rashi I want to explain today. This is the main part of the Shiur, but first I want to get to it.
The Makol Chaim asked this question on himself.
I know later on in Gimel,
And he gives a gift.
and he gives an answer. What about Lev Sholim? But I said what about Lev Sholim? He says the word efke. It means probably the bitul. I want to explain that.
It's not a case where he didn't do anything. The master never did anything. No bitul.
Yes. So the Rashi is saying like this: if the landlord didn't do anything, didn't do bitul, so bistome he did hefker because he left the house, he rented the house to somebody else. So therefore, the responsibility definitely falls on the renter. For Shita Rashi that holds hefker is chayav. That if you have hefker in your house, hefker chometz in your house, are responsible to take care of it when you own the house, and he wants to make a jump also when you rent the house because you still control. This is the Makol Chaim. He said that's why Rashi said that was bitul. Now let's see the Pnei Yehoshua inside. Let's see now the Pnei Yehoshua inside. Yes, ma'am. Please open page 4b. Let's see Rashi. Bitul Be'alma. Rashi מתחיל ביטול בעלמא. People have a Gemara. Let's see Rashi inside. Let's see Rashi inside, please. בביטול בעלמא. דף עמוד בייס. דף עמוד בייס. בביטול בעלמא Rashi says, the Yeshiva says, Tashbitu. The Torah said you should rest from the chametz. V'lo yiksit tabaru, Rashi says, the Torah didn't say burn it. Burning, don't say burning, burn it. It says what? Tashbisu. V'ashbosa delehi ashbosa. The ashbosa, the resting of the chametz in the heart, is ashboto. So you fulfill, even though it's not an act, a physical act. Rashi has a problem. Normally tashbitu means physical act. But he says, since the Torah didn't say rest from it, it didn't say the word burning, which means an action. It says ashbosa, rest from it. So he says resting in your heart by nullifying it in your heart, it's considered resting. And ashbosa balev ashbosa, even though it's only in the heart, is considered resting. Okay, that's what Rashi says. Come Tosfos says, Voimeri, look midoraisa. Tosfos says not true. Tashbisu does mean burning. Voimeri, and he says, Tosfos on the right side. Midoraisa midal is Voimeri in the middle of it's the last 6 lines of the Tosfos. Voimeri, he says, the midoraisa the bitul be'alma sogi mitan. Why nullifying works? Not because she fulfilled the mitzvah of tashbitu, resting from the chametz. The me'achar shebitloi, since you nullify it, avehefke, it's a no man's ownership. V'yotza nishusu, went out of your domain. Umuto, it is allowed. Kenarino, like it says in page 6b, aval ataroye shelachem, you can see others in gavoya. I mean 5b. So there, he says it's others. So what is the machloket Rashi and Tosfos? Rashi learns the definition of bitul, nullifying chametz, which works in the Torah, means you nullify in your heart. And by you doing that, you fulfill the mitzvah of tashbitu, you should rest from the chametz. The Torah says rest from your chametz 7 days. What do you mean to rest? Rashi says, why didn't the Torah says burn? The Torah says rest. Because resting in your heart, nullifying your heart is resting. So when you do nullification, which the Gemara says help from the Torah, bitul nullification works because you fulfill the mitzvah of tashbisu. Though he says not true. I see clearly a lot of Gemaras that the concept of resting from the chametz means burning. Clearly the Gemara says, Rabbi later on is burning. You should burn your chametz. So what does it mean? In that day you fulfill the mitzvah. So therefore he wants to say no. Nullification works from the Torah because if I sell my chametz to a goy, I'm oiver bali motzeh. Why not? Huh? It's not mine. It's acherim, it's others. So he says nullification, it's like a hefker. Since you nullified it, Rashi says, since you nullified it, it becomes a hefker, it's not your domain, not yours. And therefore, it's like seeing others in gavoa, and you're allowed. I doesn't have the rules of hefker. He says, you don't need all those rabbinic rules, and it works. This is what Tosfos says. Comes the prayer of Shua and he says, you know why Rashi didn't learn that bitul, nullification of the chametz, is not a technical hefker that you got rid of it? Ownerless, right? Ownerless. You mafkir it. You say hefker. Why Rashi didn't learn like Tosfos? Because Rashi was forced. So let's see now what he says. Let's see the page. Be'emtza dibu, it's in page Yudchet. Be'emtza dibu, when he quotes Tosfos. Ve'oimeri, and he says, De'me'achar shebitloi ha'hefker. Once you made a nullification in your heart, is hefker. And it's not yours. The Gemara says you could see, do not see, but you could see others, or if it belongs to the temple. Temple's chametz, I'm allowed to see in Pesach. the temple is allowed to have chometz and Pesach. Because it's God's chometz. We can have chometz. Others, yes. The Yeshiva comes up to Yeshua and makes a dikduk. He wants to be careful, whatever the word means. The check on Rashi. Exact. The Lekamon daf Asomuch, the next page, Hey Amud Bet. Iksho Rabbeinu Yaakov Miulayish. Rabbeinu Yaakov from Orleans in France. Here's the question. The Oche here Memartin Aloy B'Kochovi Behekdesh Bechat Kol. Ubekama Duchte Matzichin on Drei Kroim. That's the question. It's a very important question. Tosot asks a question. How can we learn from the Pasuk, you should not see, should not be found, chometz? The Torah says, Lo yiroi lecho, don't see. How can we learn from that the Torah says, your chometz should not be seen? Chometz of acherim, others, and gavoah, if it belongs to the temple, to the high, means to the high hierarchy of Beis Hamikdash, you're allowed to see. Normally, we need 2 verses to learn each one. One others and one gavoah, like we see by Chala. So we need verses for that. V'tirtzu b'dibur shachro. Teishas answer the next dibur amatchi b'shem arashbo. They came on the goli kobechaduchto. Since the Torah revealed somewhere else that chometz of others you're allowed to see. Lemay shneim ke'echod, to exclude both of them as one. Yimelech, automatically, bechol ducht in all places, saki bechat kol. It's another one verse. Wow. You hear this Rabbi Soil? You hear his words? It's not like we thought. Anyhow, what does he say here? We had a big debate what's the really Torah saying. He says that once the Torah was Megala revealed, that both of them you can learn from one verse, so therefore anywhere else I don't need 2 verses. You can learn from this. Velefize, according to this, Shamino mi here. Mi, however, deloishayech lemayit v'niu delecho. It doesn't apply to exclude from the word lecho. Elo oivet kochomi v'egdesh, only a goy and hegdesh, dafka specifically. Because only there I can say it's all included in one word, in one drasha. Veloish lefken, but not hefken. This is a very important point. This is really the key piece of the Bnei Yeshua. Bnei Yeshua says, listen carefully with the help of Hashem. When the Torah says, Lo yirayeh lecha, you cannot see chometz. What about chometz of a goy or chometz of Beis Hamikdash?
Yeah.
You could see. Comes, Torah says, what do you mean? A goy is one subject, and Beis Hamikdash is another subject. Who says you need 2 psukim to exclude each thing? Lecha means yours, Jewish chometz, or your control. Lecha means it can be very wide. Who told you to metzamtzem, to, how do you say the word metzamtzem? To condense the concept of lecha. I will expand. Shall not be seen. The Torah is so going frantic and crazy. Don't see. We never had such a prohibition nowhere, right? Don't see, don't find. You eat it, you're going to die. So many crazy. So it's a very, very frantic, scary obligations. So I would say expand it. Lo yiroi lecha means everything. Even the Beis Hamikdash, even going, cannot see, cannot be seen to you. So how do you know to exclude a whole list? One by one, you shoot one. So Taisus answers, because we found somewhere else that those 2 things, goyim and gavoah, is one bundle. That when the Torah is memayit, goyim and gavoah, it's in one shot. As mashma than anything else, I expand the concept of yours and not be seen to you. It's very wide, unless I shoot, because that's Taisus kasha. How can I learn from one limud, a goy, and Gavoya. I can only learn one at a time. See, answers, it teaches me that this bundle specific is like one unit. Is Masha anything else? It's Idelecha. So comes the Pnei Yeshua, he says, that's Rashi. That's what he says. Oh. וכן משמע לכאורה ראשו מקום ראשו רש"י. אבל אתה רואה של אחרים, Rashi says you can see others. פירש רש"י כגון את כוחו עם הקדש. מה שאדם אומר, only a goy and egg. What about a Jew or hefker is yours? Like the goyim, like the goyim in Vilna is Medaik and Rashi. That only goyim and hekdesh, but acheim or hefker is part of lechom. Oh, but if he's there, therefore shapi mutzach Rashi lefarish v'chitashvitu. He says that's why Rashi have to say that the reason why nullifying in your heart works because you fulfill the mitzvah of tashbitu. But Rashi couldn't say that nullification means hefker. It's a technical thing, it's not mine. Because if I have a chometz which is not mine in my house, it's still in the lechom. You owe it. So Rashi couldn't say that. This is the Pnei Yeshua. On the basis of this comes the Bekor Chaim and he says, comes and the Sivis and he says in our Gemara, very good. Rashi leshitoso. Rashi according to his opinion that learned that when you're not oiver, only if it's goyim or gafar, you're not oiver by nobody motze. But if it's not goyim, it's acheim, it's others, or a hefken, it's all part of lecha. Rashi said, what's the havamina to abiyah? Guys, get up. Let's get up. What was the havamina Rashi said to say? What is the sign to obligate the landlord, the maskin? There's no havamina to obligate the landlord because the landlord, most likely when he rent the house, he forget about the chum, it's just maskin. So it's not his. It's not his and not his control. Definitely I would obligate the renter because he has hefker that he controls. The responsibility is on him. Like Rashi holds in Avdalam Beis and Nacheh, that anything else besides Goyim and Gavor is including Lecha, hefker and Achei and Yechayah. So therefore here wouldn't help, definitely I will obligate the renter. That's why Rashi had to say, this is the Kol Chaim. That's why Rashi must say that what? This is really the point we want to say today. That's what we want to say, that it was a bitul. Wait a second. But if bitul, but it's also hefker. When I rent a house, I'm nullified. I rent a house, I'm the landlord, I rent a house to a renter. I went to my house and I checked the chometz in my house. And I said, all the chometz I have in the world, I'm nullified. Good. So he did bitul on all the chometz in the world. But the chometz in that specific house, he also gave up hope because she rented the house. So therefore, what's the side to obligate the landlord because he was mafkirid? It's not his and he's not in control. So what Rashi gain? What Rashi gain? I'm asking on the Mekor Chaim. What does the Mekor Chaim, according to Rashi, what Rashi gain? The whole reason why you have to say bitul Rashi, because if it wasn't the bitul, vad I obligate the renter because the landlord gave up hope. Says, okay, Rashi says, therefore there was bitul. Good. Bitul was. But also, when he did bitul, there's also hefker. I didn't remove the hefker. So if I didn't remove the hefker, so there's no side to obligate the masculine. Catch the answer is that Rashi is talking about not a general bitul. That he went in his house and he said the word kol chamira, all chometz that I own, and I'm getting rid. No. He thought about this house. He says, wait a second, I rented the house. I own it. There's chometz there. Oh, I'm taking responsibility from the Torah. I'm mevatel all the chometz that I have in that house too. So now, this guy didn't give up hope. He wants to do the mitzvah. And he's doing the mitzvah of bitul. According to Rashi, when he did bitul as what? He's mekayim, he says bitul. He's thinking about the chometz, not mafkir. And how does bitul work? This is what the Hakir I want to speak about today. How does bitul work? Guys, let's think about bitul work.
So how will this answer?
Yes.
If at the end, the Mekor Chaim says that Midoraisa only the Soicha is over. Then the Soicha does bitul.
Yes.
So then since
Who says the Soicha does bitul? You added what your words.
Magen Avraham said.
I know, but who says that Magen Avraham and Mekor Chaim is saying in Rashi that the Soicha does bitul? The Maski did
if he
bitul.
doesn't do bitul, No, but he's
The maskir did bitul.
shot in Rashi's Zimanov.
I know that part. But Rashi says that bitul nullification was done. Who did the bitul? The soicher or the maskir?
Both of them. Doesn't matter.
Could be both, but definitely the maskir.
Definitely the master.
The Mekor is saying definitely the maskir.
Rasi did have to.
What do we gain by that? Listen to this.
What do we gain?
We gain that the fact he did bitul means he has his mind and that chometz is not mafkin.
Who? This master?
Yes, that's what I want to say.
1 second.
Because yes,
1 second. And even if
at that sense, yes,
but even if you say that,
yes.
then I shouldn't have the stuff with the Rabbanon anymore. Why? Because the master did bitul and only coming at the end, and the soicher is chayiv with the license, right? Because it's his chometz now.
Right.
So if the soicher is chayiv, we should.
No.
Is the soicher chayiv or not?
So, good question. Good question. This is a question we asked last week, and we answered like this.
If the soicher is
I'm
chayiv,
answering you, my friend.
Yeah.
I asked this question last week. I gave an answer. Those that listen carefully. At the end of the shiur, I asked this question. I explained. I said, why jumps to the Rabbanon? I understand why the maskir is the Rabbanon, because he did bitul, says the Rabbanon, but the soicher is the oraisa. And I said, no, there's chometz yodua that the maskir did bitul, so therefore could be that therefore the soicher is the Rabbanon, or because the soicher also did bitul. We follow Mogen Avon. St. Mail is the Rabbanon. Both did bitul. Just 1 second. That's what I answered. I want to go to the essence here, that people don't mix up. They get one right direction. I will hear your question. I just want to go over what I said. I said like this. We explained in the Kohaim why Rashi said that the subject of our Gemara, our doubt of maskir and soicher, the landowner, the renter, is only in the situation where bitul was done. Because if bitul was not done, definitely there was hefker here. And therefore, definitely the obligation, according to Shittas Rashi, will be on the renter. Like the way that the Yeshua learns in Rashi, and Daf Dal Amud Beis, and clearly in Daf Hey Amud Beis, like the Goyin learns, like the Rashi who learns only a Goyin, but a Jew or Hefker, you're responsible for nobody wants. This is the Makor Chai, okay? Although in Daf Hey Amud Beis talks about your home, you ownership of the house, you have others or Hefker, and the Makor wants to jump that the renter doesn't have to own the house, but he controls the house and he has Hefker. Chometz there, it's already a jump on a jump. But definitely the Makor Chai says the obligation would be on the renter and not on the landowner. That's why we have to say that it was bitul here. And therefore it goes down to the Rabbanon. What does bitul help? See, if I say only the maskir did bitul, okay, so the maskir turns out to the Rabbanon, but the soicher is still doraisa for him. So you can say, no, chometz and yodua.
Oh, that's the answer to Gimel, right? Fine, he gets
Chometz and yodua that I rent. Who says I'm a chayim doraisa? When I'm obligated, like Rabbi Fisher said, it's my house and I have other people's chometz or hefker chometz in my house, or I have chometz yodua in my house, or chometz yodua of hefker or others. But I have chometz she'eno yodua and not in my house and I rent it out. To say that I'm chayim doraisa, maybe it's only rabbinic. That's one way to answer. Or the second way to answer, Rashi, that both did bitul. So therefore, it turns out to the Rabbanon. But if it wasn't that bitul was done, definitely it was hefker from the landowner, and therefore definitely are obligated the renter, because he has chometz of hefker in his house that he rented. She'eni yodua. Now we're going to say our list both did it.
according to Yeshiva, that the master did bitul and he was mafkir.
Both did bitul. You say both did bitul.
No, but now we're going to Mogen in the Kochaim. In the Derech of Kochaim, only one did bitul.
Who says?
Kochaim brings the Mogen wrong. But bitul, one did bitul.
Where show me?
The
Show me.
Kochaim says that two people.
Could be both. What does it say? Could be both.
Who says you can do bitul something that's control and not ownership?
What?
Who says bitul is side to control and not also?
The truth, I would say the circle cannot do bitul, because if the bitul means there's no hefker from the landowner, so therefore the renter he just has chometz of somebody else or hefker or a bitul on it, but it's not his. So how can he do bitul on it? When the Mogen Avram says you can do bitul only if it's hefker and you controlled it and you acquired it. But if the landowner did bitul, okay, he did bitul on it, he still own it. So therefore, the renter cannot do bitul. So why the renter is a chayim midoraisa and the maser chayim midorabonon? Right. It's a good kasha. So I answered last week by saying that if the mitzvah doraisa was done mitzvah the landowner, he did bitul on it, and it's chomet sheinu yodua on the control of the renter, could be therefore as rabban. You can say it's small.
Is that in the Mekor
You see?
Chaim?
In the Mekor Chaim. You have to say the Mekor Chaim. How do you explain the Mekor Chaim? It's a kasha in the Mekor Chaim.
Mekor Chaim says because it's anything you do, and Gimel says because it's anything you do, it's a suffix on the...
No, it doesn't say that.
It says Lefiz,
It doesn't say
the
that.
Bishas Marba B'dikas Chomet Sheinu you do, and Meila Lo Yavi Chomet Shel Soiv. The Chotzer Muskar Eino Kodesh.
Where does he say that?
In Gimel.
We'll show.
In Gimel. It says it in Gimel. Here, Lefiz.
But the fees also shocking? Yes.
He says that's the side of the master, the warrior of the master. That's why it's called the mirror.
Okay, good. So he says it clearly. He says it clearly. He says it clearly that really the bitul of the landowner was done on it, and the renter is not chayav because it's chomet sheinu yodua. Chomet sheinu yodua. So therefore, when chometz of others or chomet shel hefker, I'm chayav when it's chomet yodua. But when it's not chomet yodua, I'm not chayav. It's only rabbinic. Maybe I'll find glus koyofo, and I would want it, and I'll be chayav. It's only rabbinic svot and chayav the soicher. So this, he says it clearly. Good. So very good. No, he's saying in Rashi. So let's go over here one second. Wait. I'm gonna go over it again. I'm set it up. Listen carefully. Let's go over here. What happened? Shkoya. I'm happy that I thought this was my story, but at least I'm not happy that it's not mine. But Baruch Hashem, it's clearly inside.
Because it comes down to when the nation asked the kasha, they ask what happens if someone rents a house and so on, and the chomet sheinu yodua, he might find a guski up. That doesn't say.
Wait. A normal bdika means mokash is a chometz. That's a normal case of bdika. The classical case of bdika means if it's non chometz, it's not bdika, it's biyun. Get rid of it. Checking means it's unknown chometz. Guys, let's go over it. Let's start over again. Let's set up the Rashi. Rashi's saying like this: if it wasn't that the landowner did bitul, the landowner it was mayayish and it's hefker, and therefore the responsibility is on the renter. Why? Because what? Because the landowner gave up hope, and it's my chotzer, it's the renter's chotzer. So Mistami acquired it, or even if he didn't acquire it, it's chomet shel hefker. Even though it's a chomet shel hefker sheinu yodua, but maybe he would find glus koyofo, and he would want it. So therefore the responsibility of the Rabbon will be on the soicher.
That's only Tosfos, not the Rashi.
He's saying in Rashi.
I know, but Tosfos come to eat it's the problem, not Rashi.
No, not in backwards. That the Gemara on page 6 said that I would find glus koyofo in the future, and why every bitul needs bdika, because maybe I'll find glus koyofo and I'm obligated from now on, not password of shehiyah. So in shehiyah, what could be a hefker wachim? Even though I would want to eat it, so then bali wants it. So let's go over here what happened here. What really is Rashi saying that if it wasn't for bitul, we have hefker. If it wasn't for bitul, we had hefker. I want guys to be focused. If it wasn't for bitul, Rashi says the landowner gave up hope on it. If he gave up hope on it, the responsibility is on the soicher because he controls. Wait a second. He controls what? He controls chomet sheinu yodua. Even now, before they said he wanted, so even now the obligation will be on the renter because he controls chometz of others. Acherim or hefker. It's chomet sheinu yodua, so we'll be with the rabbanon shemayim to glus koyofo from now on, and would want to eat in the future. So therefore, the rabbanon will have the soicher. That's why you have to add a kvetch in the Mekor Chaim. That if it wasn't that the landowner did bitul, Therefore, I would obligate the renter because the renter has chometz shel hefker in his house, and it would be over if what? Because chometz shel hefker yichayev midoraisa. So if that's chayev midoraisa, so why, if the landowner did bitul, and bitul doesn't mean hefker like we explained, so it should be the soicheh midoraisa, the maxis v'gabonon. So you have to say himself that the soicheh is chayev midoraisa because chometz shel yodua.
Why you cannot say that? This is the right of Rabban. Why you cannot say
Because I'm saying, so what changed that if the landowner did bitul on it?
So what? He did bitul.
So we worry maybe the maskil didn't do complete bitul. So chash mi derabonon, you obligate the maskil, or you obligate the soicher because he says chometz shel yodua, and maybe it's going to in the future is with the rabbonon. So the rabbonon who? But the fact of the rabbonon, even if the landowner did do bitul, always the soicher is only rabbonon because chometz shel yodua. That's the fact.
No.
Sure, because why does that have a meaning? Because he says because it was
The
bitul.
question doesn't start. What if he did bittul? Bittul is to show the maskana.
I know. I want to know what forced Rashi to say there was bitul here.
Because if there's no bittul, then it would be pashut that the sofer would be.
Why? Because the maski did hefker.
Because he would be over on Bayu Rabbi Motzei.
Because the maski did hefker.
No, the masker didn't do anything.
You
Oh,
see?
because he did hefker. Right.
Did a hefker.
Right.
And if he didn't do hefker, would be a chayim. So Rashi also, the Pnei Yehoshua says even without hefker,
They will both be over.
we both be over. So hefker is only one, a chayim is only him. Stop. Not true. Not true. That's what we asked last week, and the book is asking me again. Why is not true? Because if the landowner gave up hope on it, so he's out. It's not his. The renter is not a chayim, it's efker. Good. But efker, chometz shel efker she'eino yodua, I'm not chayim midoraisa.
That's the outside push.
Okay, so we pushing in this svore, but that's shitas Rashi.
It's not open.
I know, but since in the end you hold that shitas Rashi, so in the cheshbon, why you have to say in order to put in the maski in the picture, and you say the landowner is in the picture because if he wasn't bitul, he's definitely out. Because he did bitul, he's out. And I put it on the soicher. I'm saying the soicher is not behind midirabonon, only midirabonon. That's another add that we're adding now. And therefore we say there was bitul. Bitul means not hefker. I'm thinking about it to do the mitzvah on it. It's not a general bitul in his house. He's doing bitul on this chometz in this house. Took responsibility. So he's not mafkir. That's Pshat and Rashi. So if he did a direct bitul on it, there's no hefker. So then what? The maski.
We're talking about if he didn't do bittul.
The maski, the sort to obligate the landowner because maybe he didn't do the left shoring. And the renter has chometz she'eino yodua that the landlord mevadel on it. I'm chayim midorabonon. He couldn't do bitul on it because not his chometz. He didn't acquire it because the owner didn't give up hope. He didn't do hefker on it. He only did bitul. So the soicher cannot zoich in it. He's only over bali motzeh. But he's over bali midoraisa. So he's over midoraisa. The maski is midirabonon. So the soicher should do it. So you have to say that the rent is only over midirabonon because it's a chometz she'eino yodua shel hefker or not hefker. Chometz she'eino yodua shel achayim that had bitul on it in my house. So therefore I'm only over midirabonon she'em mitzvah plus koyofa.
We want the sofer to be kind.
Right, but we also want to mechayim
We want to
this.
show why this
True, but in the same token, we have to say that they're equal. You can't say that we want to mechayim the landowner and he's chayim midorabonon and the soicher is midoraisa. It's not equal, so therefore you obligate the soicher is midoraisa midorabonon. So you have to say that both are equal. So that equality also exists without bitul. That Rashi says that if there wasn't for bitul, there was hefker and the landowner is out. And the rent is in midirabonon. That's what we just did.
So how do you know how do you understand they're equal? What's the equality that
The equality is like this. Rashi says that the landowner didn't give up hope on it. He had the marn on the chometz and he did bitul. He did the mitzvah of nullification of the chometz a second before the 6th hour. Okay?
It's just not 100%, is it?
Yes. We're afraid maybe 100% is because off. That's why there's a svara to say maybe the bid's not off. There's this chometz and the landlord needs to take care of it. Or no, is the renter's responsibility because the renter has chametz of somebody else that he doesn't know about. It's unknown chametz. So they are only obligated from the Rabbonon, not by going midoraisa. So both are rabbinic. And the shaila is who I shove them. That's the question. But if I'm going to say that the renter has somebody else chametz and he's chai midoraisa, so what if the landowner did bitul and is not hefker and he's only chai midoraisa, but the landowner is with the Rabbonon and the renter is doraisa? So therefore I shove it on the renter. So it has to be that both are equal. And that sort of equality was that even without bitul, that the landlord is out because he was mafkir, the renter is the Rabbonon. Because that sort of stays the same. That's what we
Why comes the Rabbonon?
Because chometz and yodua have hefker in your house with Rabbonon.
And he was the Yodua of the Raisa.
It'll be your Raisa. According to Shitas Rash, according to Pri Yoshua, the chometz and hefker are acherim yechayim.
Is it possible
Yes.
to say that once the maskil is mevater, the chometz comes in the hefta of chometz mushbat, and even the seicha will be over?
Svara, you can say that's what I was afraid to say. I never go das and say that. I'll tell you why, special Shitas Rash. I'll tell you the Svara. Because Rashi holds nullification doesn't mean a hefker. Nullification means you putting on a status. Rashi says Masiach daitoi vehave afo, be earth. Means it's still mine. Not wrong, not mine. Wrong. It's still mine. Listen, it's still mine. I'm answering you, it's still mine, but it's ofker. One second, I want to explain. I didn't finish. No. Because it's only relativity. I say relative. Rashi says, listen, he asked a question. I know the question. We relate to this. I'll give you the answer. Since Rashi's sita is that bitul means, what according to Rashi bitul means? Open the Dal. How Rashi means, no, but how he defines bitul. Let's see how Rashi defines bitul by us. Rashi, this is the only Rashi in the whole tractate of Pesachim. Our Rashi in Choy Basadar is the only Rashi in the whole tractate of Pesachim that defines what is bitul. This is the second part of the Shiur which I want to speak about.
Thanks for the transition.
Yes.
I needed it.
I was waiting something. Listen carefully. What Rashi says, "Ve'ochel b'dikas chometz miderabbonon." He defines what is bitul. The masach daite minei umashre le ke'ofo. 6 words. I'm going to say a word of words. Rashi defines what is bitul, removing your mind from it and you make it a status of earth. Umashre, that's the word mashre. You consider it? No, I hate this translation. Mashra means you make it. You make it, not consider it. Make it. And I want to explain what does he make it. Listen carefully.
The root is shavish.
No. Mashra is oise. Oise. And I want to explain that there's a big difference. The Gemara says, excitement. The Gemara says, if I take chometz before Pesach, and I have a vessel that has a hole, I have a big vessel that holds water, and I take the chometz, and I pressed it, and I put it into the hole, and I put it in the sun, and now it dries up, and it becomes one part of the vessel. Pesach comes in. I'm allowed to hold this vessel in Pesach or not. The Gemara says, it's a Mishnah, chometz besitkei ha'arevo is mutar. Because the fact I made it part of the wall of the vessel, it's a wall, it's not chometz.
It's actually like
The function of this vessel, food is not food anymore. It's a wall of this is Rashi saying.
That's
Mevatel, umashvele, makes it.
You're changing the chometz then.
Yes.
Rashi says you change your mind, not the chometz.
It's only in your mind, not in your friend's mind. That's the point. That's why I didn't like to say that it helps the other. Since the way Rashi defines that the concept of bitul means that in my mind, I make it, Rashi says, Masiach daitim, I remove my mind from it, and I make it earth, means I make it ois oichel in English. Ois oichel. How do you say the word ois in Hebrew, in English? Out. Out of oichel is out of the status of fruit. In my mind. So it's in my mind, not in my friend's mind. That's why I was very afraid to say what you wanted to say. I had that story. Maybe that's what it means in Rashi. and I solve my whole problem in the whole time. I never have the audacity, because it's only in my mind, not in my friend's mind. It's still food, it's a great cake. If I took it, I did an action, I really made it earth, I burn it, I put it besit kahei, or it's not like it anymore. It's a fact. But if I didn't do a fact, it's only a mind-playing game. I played a game in my mind. In my mind, I nullified it. What is nullifying? Not hefker, only list. That's also. According to the definition of Rashi.
That's the word.
That's the word.
Read the words. Rashi.
Yes.
Kamo, Bahashta,
Yes. Wait, which word?
Divrei Rashi on the Bekan, Shikasav,
Yes.
Tam, the Bedikas Tamis Kurabanin, the Midiraisa, the Bittul Sagi, Tam, Shalom, Mikve Shalcha. He says that that's Pshat Rashi, it's not Shalcha.
Shalcha is different.
Yeah, but why is not Shalcha? Because you don't own it anymore? According to Rashi?
It's not oichel.
I know, it's Masha from Rashi that is not oichel. You don't own it in the world of Chometz, Shalcha. Which Chometz Shalcha you're not to hold? Chometz which has the name of Chometz. But when the Chometz not out of Chometz, because I made it earth, so it's not Chometz Shalcha that you own. That seems to be in the words of Rashi. So therefore, I would rather say, this is what we want to speak about. Let's see, Deran. Deran defines bitul. How does Deran defines bitul? I reveal my mind to follow what the Torah says. So I want to explain this concept, very important. Be'ezer Hashem, I thought, Reb Shleiman, that in Shavuos, we would learn, at least maybe in Shabbos, I don't know, in Shavuos, we'll learn the bitul, maybe the Rabbi, what's his name? Rabbi Chevroini's piece, and Reb Shimon Shkop's piece in bitul. What is bitul? The concept of bitul normally means, I want to explain the concept in process, in pieces, okay? People understand it better, with the help of Hashem.
I think
Mashhuye means you're pausing it.
Equated.
Mashve, equated, it's a better word. Equate, makes it, equate, okay. Equates.
That's what I said.
I will, no, I didn't, I'm just repeating like a tuki. I didn't know what he was saying. I was thinking what he's saying is wrong. It's not what it means. I made it. Made it. Okay, listen carefully. Listen, I think mashbele means makes it, or says it in Hebrew. Okay. If I own chometz and the 6th hour comes in, what happens? The chometz is also ba'ano. I'm not allowed to have any pleasure from it. It's also ba'achila. I'm not allowed to eat it. And there's also ba'ano. So comes Rabbi Elazar or Tenant and Rabbi Shmuel. 2 things are not in the person's domain, and the Torah made it his to be obligated by Rabbi Botzer. A pit in public domain. If you open a pit, you dig a pit. It's not yours. The Torah put it on yours. That obligated all the damage will come out of it is yours. Your damage, your ball, mamoincha, and shmiros alecha, and also chometz. Chometz, when the 6th hour comes in, why you obligated? Because although it's not allowed to eat it, it's also ba'achil, also ba'ano. But it's not really yours.
Because you didn't do bitul.
But the Torah, yes, the Torah wants to do bitul. But if you didn't do bitul, the Torah shoved it into your domain. But really, it's not yours. Comes the man says, you know why bitul with just a mind game works? It's just a mind. Normally, hefke, it's an action. Your words in front of 3. How to hear bitul in a person's mind works in such a language? Be earth. Say the fact. Be earth. It's too beautiful cake. What earth? How does it work? So the Ram says, because it's Eliyahu Subhano, and the Torah put into your domain, that's why, with thinking alone, or saying alone, it'll be earth, it takes you out of your domain. Your rights in it go away. Reference the comments. So now, according to the Ram, Isura no, I own it, or I don't own it. Can I inherit something which is not allowed to eat, not allowed to have pleasure from it? Can I marry a woman that she's sick and she's allowed to eat? Prohibitions. Can I marry a woman with Isur Ano? Mishnah Melech says yes. Can I eat Dodo Shos Vano Sholei Kedei Hanoso? The Gemara and Daf Chofei says I could. The Rosh says it's the Rabban on it. Okay. Mixed is going also the Rabban. Could be the Rabban is allowed. Shloike derech hano. Isu hano, it doesn't mean I don't own it. The Gemara in Kiddushin, page 17 says, if a goy inherit his father's avodah zarah, can he inherit avodah zarah? Is Isu hano? He inherited a big, I remember we had a guy in Yeshiva that, that, I'm not mentioning names. His father was a Jew. And his father inherited, his grandfather, I mean, this boy in Yeshiva's father, inherited from his father. He inherited millions and millions of dollars worth of antiques. And one of the things he inherited, a big cross made out of gold and big diamonds. With maybe, I don't know how much. Enormous, like this piece, very thick gold and big diamonds. What is he going to do with it? First of all, do you inherit Isulam or you don't inherit it? So the Gemara says in Kiddushin of Yitzayin that a person inherits Isulam.
That's not Israel.
Isulam. Avodah Zarah is okay, maybe cross is not Isulam. But Avodah Zarah, if it's Avodah Zarah, it's Isulam. Okay?
A gold Buddha.
Okay, a Buddha. Okay, you inherit, who knows what, he even gets it the word. But let's say Avodah Zarah, you inherited, it's made out of gold. Can you inherit Isulam? The answer is yes. You can inherit Isulam. You could marry a sick woman that is sakonas nefoshes, shaloike derech also, whatever it is. So the concept is, what does it mean it's not yours? I'm trying to put into your domain. It means it's not yours totally reference to the concept of Isu Chometz if you understand. So therefore, it works with a mind, just your mind alone. So according to the Ram and the Ramban and others, the concept of bitul, of nullification, is really taking out of your domain like tos and hefker. Again, according to Rashi, the concept of bitul means you remove your mind away from it and you make an earth in your mind. In your mind, this food has a status of earth. It's not food. It's like chometz. You took chometz, you made a seed out of it. You made it. You put a part of the vessel to make it to fill up a hole. So it's a wall. It's not food. It's not designated as a food in your mind. It's earth. This is the way Rashi defines it. The way the Ran defines bitul or tosfot is hefker. I'm taking away. Earth means I'm taking it out of my domain, out of my control. Not that I made an earth. I took it away from me, and it's worth like earth, because it's ownerless. I own illicit. I don't own it anymore. It's hefker. Why does it work? The Ramban asks, how does it work such a hefker? I say it's earth. It's hefker. Then I lose my ownership. So because anyhow is also I know what to start with. It's a Torah put into my domain. It's a very weak ownership. So with your mind, the way it works. Okay, this is the difference between those two. So this is what I want to tell you here. Rashi could not learn that nullification means hefker. Because if the nullification means hefker, I need to fulfill the mitzvah of tashbitu with it. So if I didn't fulfill the mitzvah of tashbitu, I had chometz in my house, and I mafkir it. Good, you did. You hefker, now it's hefker. Still you mechuyav. You have hefker chometz in your house. You have everybody Botzer. That's why Rashi learned nullification means I fulfill a mitzvah. Maybe I'm still owning it. I made it earth. I made it mashvele ofo. But still owning it could be. Wait a second. But the Ran can hold both. Ran holds both. Ran holds that nullification means tashbitu, like Rashi. But he learns nullification means hefker. And you won't have the problem of Rashi against Tosfot, because the only reason why Rashi could not learn like Tosfot, that bitul means hefker, because hefker is to use to chayav, that's only if you didn't fulfill the mitzvah. It's just technical. But the Rambam learns bitul means hefker, but he also learns you mekayim mitzvah tashbitu. So you did the mitzvah. You can't say, hey, chometz shalefka is in your house, you didn't get anything. I did what Hashem wanted, so you can't mekayim me anymore. So now let's go back to Rashi. The Rashi that says by us.
But if a person would be
Wait. Yes.
According to the Ran, if a person would be not killed, it wouldn't be good.
According to the Ran, if a person be mafkir,
Yes. Even though Bittles become hefker, but if he wouldn't do Bittel,
you would do real hefker.
if he do real hefker, wouldn't be good.
Wouldn't be good because it's still in his domain. Yes. But according to Ran, hefker works because he fulfilled the mitzvah of the Reise. But if I do real hefker, the Ran will agree to Rashi, it'll be over with me. That's the Kiddush Din now. Okay.
Well, what's the difference between the two kind of hefters you're talking?
There's Rashi that says nullification means you making it earth. And you fulfill the mitzvah of Tashbitu. And Rashi could not learn, the Ben Yeshua explains, Rashi could not learn that nullification means a technical thing that is a hefker. Because Rashi understood by doing hefker, you're not fulfilling the mitzvah of Tashbitu. So therefore, you have a hefker chometz in your house, you're still chayav, because hefker you're chayav. But the Ran holds both. The Ran holds nullification means hefker. Doesn't mean you make it earth, it means hefker. But he also holds that hefker you fulfilling the mitzvah of the Oraisa of the Shpitu. And why does it work? Monetary ways, because any other Torah says it's not worth it. Because it's Isur Hano. So if you agree to the Torah's das, that the Torah just shoved it into your domain and you reveal your mind, you don't want it, it works. But you don't have a kasha according to the Ran that he learns as hefker, and Ran learns like Rashi that chometz shelef yishlu hoiver. So how does bitul works? Because the Ran holds true bitul is hefker, but I also fulfill the mitzvah of tashbitul. Good.
Very good, but we have a problem because the Ran holds that chometz shel Yisrael acher is not over; it's a mute.
The Ran clearly learns Shalacheri means the goy. Open the Hey Amud base, and Ran says clearly Shalacheri nochrim. So if you medayek the goyim, listen.
But the Ran and the Chidushim say.
I don't Ran Chidush, we know our Ran.
Wait. The Ran and the Chidushim say that with the Oraisa, the Seichen Amaskil and Oivel, Zel Shein Shaloi, V'Zel Shein Meshusoi.
Like the Rabbi David.
Yes.
Okay, but our Ran doesn't hold so. What can I do? Our Ran brings down only chometz shel nochrim.
No, he says a drosha like that doesn't mean nochrim.
Why? Say acheri means Jews kavachoyim nochrim. Why say nochrim like Rashi, like the Duke of the Goyim? Mashma that only nochrim, but Jews are in.
But by Maskil and Seichen he says that no one's over.
I don't know this Ran. I have to check both Rans and Chidushim. Our Ran here now, Gemara says like this. Okay, I have to check it.
No, it's just showing that like the Yeshua. You see that Zalok Yeshua Chad Hashem.
Okay, I have to check the Ran inside. I cannot relate to it because I don't know what he said.